Welcome to HFY Galactic Stories, original science fiction tales, where humans face impossible odds, and the galaxy pays the price for its ignorance. Listen carefully. This is where legends are born. The Declaration. The Galactic Coalition Assembly Hall is really big. It is bigger than a lot of cities on planets. The hall has a crystal roof that lets in light from 3 stars that are close by. This light makes pretty rainbow colors on the floor where all the representatives are sitting. Today the Galactic Coalition Assembly Hall has people from over 200 planets and species. Each of these species sent their people to be here. The room is very noisy because everyone is talking in their language. Everyone is wearing a special device that helps them understand what others are saying. The device changes the sounds of the languages into something that makes sense to each person. The Galactic Coalition Assembly Hall is a busy place. Ambassador David Richardson stood at the center podium. He was a man with a lot of experience. His gray hair and old face showed that he had been doing this job for a long time. Ambassador David Richardson wore a black suit. It was not fancy like the clothes the alien delegates were wearing. The alien delegates had on interesting and colorful outfits. They also had things on their bodies that were like nothing Ambassador David Richardson had ever seen before. In his hands, Ambassador David Richardson held a computer tablet. This tablet had an important document on it. It was Earth's proposal. The room got really quiet when the speaker, this floating thing that looked like a jellyfish named Kelro, said what was next on the list. The colors on his body, which was like a glow stick, changed to show he was being official, and you could hear his voice coming from all the devices that help people understand each other. The people in charge here are okay with the team of humans from Earth being present. Ambassador Richardson, you can now tell us what you want to say about your idea. Richardson stepped forward. His footsteps were really loud in the quiet room. He had practiced what he was going to say times before. Richardson knew that what happened in the few minutes was very important, for human space exploration and for humans to survive. Richardson was thinking about how human space exploration and human survival were both depending on what he did. The man stood up, said to the important people who were visiting, honored delegates. He spoke in a strong and easy-to-hear voice. Earth is now saying that we want to make a safe area around our planet. This safe area will be 100 years big around our home system. We are asking all the groups who can travel in space to please respect this area and not come in without getting permission from the people who are in charge of Earth. We mean the Earth's governing council. For 3 seconds it was completely quiet. Then all of a sudden the chamber just exploded into noise. People started laughing. It was a mix of sounds. The translation devices had a time figuring out what these sounds meant. There were pitched noises, loud roars, whistling and vibrating sounds. The laughter, the pitched noises, the loud roars, the whistling and the vibrating sounds all meant the same thing. They were all saying that this was just not believable. The laughter and all these other sounds were like an insult. From up high where the military people stand, a voice shouted out across the room. Silence. The word was loud and clear. It stopped all the noise like a knife cutting through water. Everyone looked at Supreme Commander Draxon of the Crithian Dominion. The Crithians were a species made for war and taking over. They were really big, 3 meters tall. The Crithians had bodies that were covered in plates that fit together like a puzzle. These plates looked like metal. They shone in the light. Draxon had 4 arms. He crossed them over his huge chest. The Crithians had a lot of eyes. Draxon had 6 eyes. They were arranged in 2 rows up and down. Draxon's eyes were focused on Richardson with an intensity that made some people very nervous. The Crithians were a species made for conquest. They looked like they were built for fighting. Let me get this right, Draxon said, his voice sounding like he was really interested and also a little amused. Your people, who only learned how to travel to stars 70 years ago, want to take control of a huge area of space. This is bigger than what some empires have taken over in thousands of years. Is that what you are saying? Your species is really going to try to do this? Your species wants a lot of space. I mean a huge amount of space that is bigger than what some empires have gotten in a very long time. Richardson looked back at Commander Draxon. He did not look away. That is correct, Commander Draxon, Richardson said to Commander Draxon. Do you really think we will just go along with this request? Someone else started talking. This person was Counselor Vesh, who speaks for the Tellurian Collective. The Tellurian Collective is a group of beings who are very good at negotiating. Counselor Vesh has a body that curls up nicely on her special seat, and her shiny skin reflects the light in the room. Earth has control over 9 colonies, Ambassador. These are 9 settlements, on planets that are not easy to live on. What reason do you have for making such a statement, Earth Ambassador? The Tellurian Collective is not easily Counselor Vesh wants to know what Earth is thinking. We are not saying we want to take over, Counselor Vesh, Richardson said. We want to keep people safe. That is a difference. Protection is what we are trying to do, not conquest. There is a difference between protection and conquest, Counselor Vesh. What are you talking about, protection from what? Draxon said with a laugh that echoed around the room. Are you talking about protection from us, the people who have kept this galaxy safe and peaceful for thousands of years? I mean, we are the ones who have been in charge and made sure everything runs smoothly while your people were still figuring out how to make fire just like our ancestors did a time ago, but we have moved way past that. So what is it that you need protection from the civilizations that have been taking care of this galaxy for long? Richardson let a small smile cross his face. Commander, it has been 70 years since humans became part of the community. In that time, human ships have been attacked 43 times. Our colonies have been attacked 17 times. We have lost a lot of people. Over 8,000 humans. Because of what you say is peace and order. Humans have asked for protection from the coalition times. We have made complaints. We have tried to negotiate. We have even paid money to try to make things better. Nothing has worked for humans. The humans are still not safe. Richardson thinks that humans deserve to be protected by the coalition like everyone else in the galactic community. Humans want to feel safe. That is not happening. He stopped talking for a moment so that people could think about what he said. Then he went on. So now we are going to do things. We are making it very clear where we stand, and we are asking nicely that people respect that. We are drawing a line. We want people to stay on their side of the line, so to speak. The line is clear and we are asking that it be honored. We really mean that. Or what? Draxon leaned forward. His armor made a noise that sounded like rocks scraping against each other. What will you do if we say no, human? You have a fleet with 60 ships. These ships are old. Their guns and shields are not very good. They would not be able to withstand one round of shots from any of the military groups in this room. Draxon talked about the fleet and said, your ships are not strong enough to fight against us. He did not think the human fleet was a deal. Draxon looked at the human. Said, what can you do to us, human, if we do not listen to you? 57 ships are working now, Commander, Richardson said in a soft voice. You are right that our technology is not good enough. Our ships cannot beat any of your ships in a fight. We know that our technological limitations are a problem. 57 operational vessels is what we have, Commander. We cannot match any of your vessels in combat. This declaration does not mean anything, Vesh said. The boundary you are talking about is something you wrote down. You do not have the power to make sure people follow the rules of the boundary. That is why it is not really going to work. The boundary only exists on paper, it is not a thing that people have to follow. Richardson said, the boundary will be enforced. The way he said it made some people near him feel really uneasy. We just want people to leave us alone, he said. Not make us show them what we can do. Richardson said, we simply ask that no one forces us to demonstrate how, and that was it. Draxon's laughter was loud again. It did not sound as sure as before. Are you threatening the Galactic Coalition, Ambassador? Draxon's voice had a shake to it, and the Galactic Coalition was clearly on his mind. He was waiting to see what would happen next with the Galactic Coalition. No, Commander. I'm telling you this because I have to. Richardson's face did not change. His eyes said something that made even the tough Krithian stop. There is a difference between saying something to scare someone and saying something to help them. When you want to scare someone, you make a threat. When you really want to help someone, you give them a warning. Richardson is giving the commander a warning. The commander should listen to Richardson's warning. An old man spoke from one of the platforms, where the really old species watched what was happening. Ambassador Kelm of the Vortian Ascendancy spoke to the room. The Vortian Ascendancy is a civilization that has seen many empires come and go. Ambassador Kelm of the Vortian Ascendancy had a lot of experience behind his words. Kelm said, I have studied humanity. When he spoke, the light bounced off his crystal body. Humanity is a new species, but there is something about them that worries me. They are really good at staying alive by changing and coming up with ideas, especially when they are in big trouble. Every time they were close to being destroyed, they found ways to keep going even if it was very hard for them. Kelm says something smart, another old delegate said. Maybe we should think about what Kelm's asking for. Think about it? Draxon stood up tall. He looked very serious. We should think about giving in to what a species that is still pretty new to space wants? No. The Krithian Dominion has 17 trade routes that go through this area they want to call a protected zone. We have been using these routes for 4,000 years. They are worth a lot of money every year. I do not want to change our trade routes just because a new civilization is asking us nicely. The Crithian Dominion trade routes are very important to us. I will not let anyone mess with the Crithian Dominion trade routes. Richardson had expected this to happen. The Crithian routes were the problem. Commander Draxon, they had come up with route calculations. The longest way around would only add 8 days to any trip. That seems like a thing to do. The Crithian routes were really the heart of the issue. Is that really fair? Draxon's voice got very low. Sounded angry. You talk about being fair when you want us to go around your area like it is a deal? No, Ambassador Richardson. The Crithian ships will keep using the routes we always use. If your special area happens to be in the way of those routes, that is your problem, not ours. The Crithian fleet will do what it wants. We will not change our routes because of your protected zone. The protected zone is your issue, not the fleet's issue. Commander, please, Richardson said in a sincere tone. I'm asking you as one person to another, do not go past this point. We have been getting ready for 5 years to protect ourselves. We have tried every way to talk this out. We do not want what will happen if you cross that line. Richardson was saying this because he really did not want anything bad to happen. We have done everything we can to avoid a problem. The people on our side are really scared of what you might do if you test this boundary. We are begging you, Commander, please do not do this. We are talking about the safety of a lot of people, including ourselves and the people on your side. We really do not want things to get worse. Then tell us, Vesh said, her voice full of sarcasm. What kind of defense do you have that is so special? The coalition is very powerful. What weapon could your people have made that would be a problem for the coalition? The coalition has a lot of technology. I do not think your people can make something that would be a threat to the coalition. The coalition is made up of strong species. What do you have that would be a concern for the coalition? Richardson was really quiet for a bit. Then he talked and his voice was so soft you could hardly hear him. Every single translator in the room heard what Richardson said really clearly. We found out some things about ourselves when things were really bad. When people are in danger of disappearing, when we are treated badly, we change into something else. Something that even we are scared of. We fought with each other for a long time, almost 10,000 years, and we came close to ruining our world many times. We got very good at fighting because we were fighting people who thought like us. We know all the ways to hurt, to catch, to destroy because we have done all these things to each other. He looked straight at Draxon. The boundary is not guarded by guns, Commander. It is guarded by the one thing people are really good at, making sure that if we die, we do not die by ourselves. We call this assured destruction, and people have become very skilled at it. The boundary is protected by assured destruction, and humans have made it very effective. Assured destruction is what keeps the boundary safe, Commander. The room was completely quiet now. The chamber had become still. Draxon said, "You are bluffing," but his voice did not sound as sure as it did before. "I wish I could," Richardson said quietly. "Commander, your main trade fleet will get to the edge of our protected zone in 6 weeks. I'm asking you, please change your route. Add those 8 days to your trip. It is not a lot to ask when you think about what might happen if you do not change your route. The trade fleet will be in danger if you do not add those days. Commander, I am begging you, change the route of your trade fleet." Draxon's plates shook with anger that he could hardly keep inside. "In 6 weeks, Ambassador, you will see what happens when kids try to play politics with grown-ups. The Crithian fleet will go through your boundary like it is not there. The Crithian fleet will show you that it does not care about your rules. Maybe then the Crithian fleet and the people of your species will understand where they stand in the galaxy." He stopped talking to everyone and his website was no longer available. His platform was not working anymore, it had gone dark. Richardson was all by himself at the podium. There were hundreds of delegates all around him. They were looking at him with feelings that were not very nice. Some of them felt sorry for him. Others did not like him all. Richardson had said what Earth wanted to say. He had told them what humanity was worried about. Now he just had to go home and hope that someone from Earth would pay attention to the message from the alien delegates about humanity's warning. Richardson had to go and pray that someone would listen to Earth's message and humanity's warning. As Ambassador Kelm walked from the chamber, Ambassador Kelm's final words echoed through the hall. Ambassador Kelm said, "I hope the humans are not serious. I have looked at human history a lot. I found out one thing that is always true about humans. Humans never say they will do something about survival if they do not mean it. Humans just make sure everyone knows what it will cost. The humans will make sure everyone understands what they have to pay. We have 6 weeks. That is all the time that is left before the whole galaxy finds out if the warnings from humanity are empty words or real promises that are based on physics that even the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy cannot understand. The galaxy will soon learn the truth about humanity's warnings and the physics that humanity is talking about. The Krithian fleet began preparations the next day. The vanishing. The Krithian armada got together at Outpost Gamma. This was a station that the Dominion had used for a very long time. Supreme Commander Draxon was on his ship, the Eternal Triumph. He was in the command center. He looked at the Krithian armada he had put together. The Krithian armada had 400 warships. These warships were floating in space. They looked pretty scary. Each warship was very good at what it was made for. The people who made these warships had been working on them for thousands of years. The Krithian armada was a deal. The bridge crew worked around him in a smooth way. They had done this times before, so they knew what to do. They had worked together for years. Been on many missions. The people on the ships were sending in reports. Everything was working perfectly on all the ships. The fleet was ready to go through the area where humans live. The fleet was also ready to do something that people would remember for a long time, something that would be talked about all around the galaxy for a very long time. The fleet was ready to make a statement that would be remembered for generations, a statement that would echo across the galaxy for many generations. The Supreme Commander's second-in-command, Tactical Officer Vreen, said that all vessels are ready for combat. Tactical Officer Vreen is a lot smaller than Draxon. She moves really fast. When it comes to tactics, Tactical Officer Vreen is one of the best in the fleet. She has a sharp mind for that sort of thing. Draxon is a guy, so Tactical Officer Vreen looks even smaller next to him. Excellent, Draxon said in a voice. He turned on the communication channel that would reach every ship in the fleet. He knew that everything he said would be written down and sent to every part of the coalition. Warriors of the Krithian Dominion, today is a day. It is the day we show the galaxy who's in charge. There is a species that thinks it can tell us what to do. They have drawn a line in space. They want us to stop at that line. We will not stop. We will cross that line just like we have crossed other lines before. The Krithian Dominion will do what it always does. We will keep moving, and the Krithian Dominion will not be stopped. We want to show that people do not become authorities just because they say so. Because they have the power to back it up. Authority is not something that people get from talking, it is something that they get from having authority and using their power. He stopped talking for a moment so everyone on the 400 ships could think about what he said. Get into our formation. We are going to the edge of space. Keep all your guns ready. Do not fire unless you have to. We do not want to fight the humans. We will if we have to. Let us show the humans what it means to be really strong. The fleet of ships moved together like they were connected. There were hundreds of ships. They all did the same thing at the same time. This was something that not all crews could do. The fleet of ships went faster and faster towards the coordinates of the Earth's protected zone. This was an area that the Earth had marked as protected. It would take the fleet of ships 3 days to get to the Earth's protected zone if they kept going at the speed that the military used when they were just cruising. The fleet of ships and the Earth's protected zone were important for this journey. Draxon picked this route on purpose. It went really close to one of Earth's colonies 2 light years away. This was close enough for human machines to find them. Draxon wanted to make a point that the Krithian Dominion could go wherever the Krithian Dominion wanted to go. The Krithian Dominion was making it very clear that they did not care about what others thought. Draxon and the Krithian Dominion were being very deliberate about this. The first day went by without anything happening. The ships stayed in formation, the crews took their turns doing their jobs, and the long-range sensors did not find anything except empty space ahead. Some of the officers talked about how this demonstration was a waste of time, that humanity would just watch the ships pass by and not do anything about the ships. The ships just kept moving and the crews kept doing their jobs, waiting to see what would happen with the demonstration of the ships. Draxon let them talk. It was really important for the military people to feel confident. Something was bothering him. He kept thinking about Ambassador Richardson's face when he gave that warning. The human did not look like he was just pretending. Ambassador Richardson looked like he really wanted to stop something from happening. Draxon thought about Ambassador Richardson and what he had said. On the day the people crossed the boundary of the place they were in. The boundary was something that the people had to cross on the day. The second day was the day when the people decided to cross the boundary. The Earth's protected zone transition was really anticlimactic. One moment the Earth's protected zone was not around them, the moment they were officially inside the Earth's protected zone. Everything stayed the same. The stars in the Earth's protected zone looked the same, the sensors in the Earth's protected zone showed the same empty void, all the systems of the Earth's protected zone continued to function normally. Supreme Commander Vreen said, "We made it into the area. There are no ships around, no defense systems, nothing at all. The Supreme Commander's restricted area seems to have no defenses." The Supreme Commander. "It is completely open, the restricted area is." Draxon felt happy that he was right but a little sad. He said, Keep going the way and do not change how fast we are going. We need to keep checking everything around us with our sensors every 5 minutes, so keep doing that with the sensors. Draxon told them to maintain course and speed and continue with the full sensor sweeps every 5 minutes. Hours went by. Then a whole day passed. The fleet kept going into the protected zone. They were heading towards the edge where they would leave the zone and keep going on their trade route like they had planned. The crew members were feeling pretty relaxed. Jokes were being shared on the communication channels. Some of the ships even asked if they could do some combat drills. They just wanted to do something to break up the boredom. The fleet was still. The crew of the ships were getting a little restless. The protected zone was a way to travel and they were not even close to leaving it yet. The fleet would have to keep moving and the crew would have to wait until they reached the edge of the protected zone. The sensors found something that was not normal. The sensors detected this thing that was unusual. "Commander," the sensor operator said, his voice did not sound sure. "I am getting readings from the sensors. These readings are not like anything I have seen before. I do not know what is causing them. It looks like space is making energy signals. The energy signals from space are really unusual. I do not know what to make of them. Space is generating these energy signatures. I'm not sure what they mean." Draxon went to the sensor station. He said, "What do you mean by unusual?" "I'm not able to do that, sir. The readings do not match anything we have seen before in our databases. It seems like space is vibrating at frequencies that it should not be vibrating at. The space is resonating at these frequencies. That is really strange. The pattern of these frequencies is getting bigger. It is surrounding our fleet on all sides in every direction. That is what the readings are showing us about the space and its frequencies. Is it dangerous?" "I do not know, sir. The things we are seeing now do not look like they are a threat to us at the moment, but this thing that is happening is something that has never happened before. The current readings of the phenomenon suggest that. Like I said, the phenomenon is something that has never been seen before." Draxon thought about telling the fleet to go, but he did not do it. If he showed that he was worried, it would ruin the point of Draxon doing this demonstration. "Keep watching," Draxon said to the fleet. "Tell Draxon away if the readings from the fleet get stronger." They kept moving. The weird energy signals were still there. They did not get stronger or weaker. They just stayed the same, like a fog that you cannot see around the ships. Other ships in the fleet saw the thing. The scientists on all the ships started to look at the data to figure out what the energy signals were. The energy signals were really puzzling to the scientists across the armada. 6 hours later, the first ship vanished from sight. The first ship was gone. The Relentless Guardian, a destroyer that was on the outside of the fleet, just vanished. It was there 1 minute, showing up on the screens and sending updates. Then the Relentless Guardian was. All the sensors saw was empty space where the Relentless Guardian used to be. "Report," Draxon said loudly, his voice cutting through all the noise that had suddenly filled the bridge. "The Relentless Guardian is really gone, sir." Vreen said this and her voice was full of shock. "There was no explosion. We did not see any pieces of the ship floating around. The Relentless Guardian did not send out a distress signal. Our sensors are not picking up anything. It is like the Relentless Guardian never existed. Get me a communication link to that vessel immediately." "No response, sir. All channels silent." Draxon's mind was really racing. It just did not make sense that 500 crew members of the ship could just disappear like that. "I need the ships to go and see what is going on. I want to see with my eyes what happened to the crew members of the ship." 2 frigates broke formation. They moved toward the place where the Relentless Guardian was last seen. The frigates kept talking to the ship all the time. They told the ship everything they saw, which was really nothing. The Relentless Guardian was still nowhere to be found. The people were there. Then the people disappeared too. Draxon saw it happen this time on the display. The 2 ships were getting close to the location. Their icons were easy to see on the screen. All of a sudden the icons were gone. There was no warning or anything. The communications just stopped in the middle of a message. The sensor officer was saying, "We are getting close to the coordinates now we see," and then there was nothing. Draxon was looking at the display and the Draxon saw that the 2 ships were just gone. Draxon said, "All ships halt." He wanted them to stop now. "Full stop immediately," he told them. Draxon wanted the ships to stop moving at that moment. The order went out to the fleet. This had a big effect on all the ships. 400 ships started slowing down. Then they just stopped moving in space. The fleet was missing 3 ships. These 3 ships were gone. It was like they never existed in the place. The fleet was still there. These 3 ships were not, they had just vanished. Commander Vreen said, trying to keep his voice down. "We have lost touch with 3 ships. The Swift Talon, the Crimson Dawn and the Unbreakable Will are all gone. They were in places in our group. The swift Talon was here, the Crimson Dawn was on the other side, and the Unbreakable Will was in the back. We cannot find any reason why they vanished. The disappearances of the swift Talon, the Crimson Dawn, and the Unbreakable Will do not make any sense. Draxon felt a fear in his chest for the first time in his time in the military. He had been in spots before. Draxon had faced enemy fleets. Made it through. Draxon had survived when things seemed impossible. Draxon had led his men into battles against positions. Those enemies Draxon could see and understand and fight. The Draxon military career had prepared him for that. This thing was different. Draxon did not know what to make of it. Turn the ships around, he said. Every single ship, go fast as you can back to the boundary of the space we are in. The boundary is where all the ships need to go, so get them back to the boundary now. The fleet started to turn around, big warships making emergency turns to go the other way. As the fleet was turning, more and more of the warships began to disappear. This was happening fast, not one warship at a time but lots of them at the same time. The warships were gone in a few seconds, 10 of them disappeared in 10 seconds. Then 20 more warships were gone. Then 50 of the warships just vanished. We cannot turn back, Commander, the navigation officer shouted. Every ship that tries to go speed in reverse just vanishes within a few minutes. It seems like moving the ship sets off something with the ship. The ship just disappears when it is moving backward. Then we go forward, Draxon decided. We will keep going at speed ahead. We will punch through to the boundary of the place we are trying to get to, the far boundary. The fleet moved forward. The ships kept disappearing. They vanished from every spot in the fleet. Big battle cruisers and small scouts disappeared as often as each other. The tactical display started to look like a bunch of stars that were going out one at a time. The fleet was. It was like the ships were just gone. The battle cruisers in the fleet and the scouts in the fleet were all disappearing at the rate. Things got even worse when we started getting reports from the ships. People who worked on these ships were disappearing from rooms that were locked up tight. On the Valiant strike, some engineers said that 3 of their team members just disappeared while they were walking down a hallway. When they looked at the security videos, they saw that these people were walking normally and then they were just gone. It was like someone had cut them out of the video. The Valiant strike engineers were really confused because one minute these people were there and the minute they were not. The security footage of the Valiant strike showed this strange thing happening to the crew members of the Valiant strike. On the bridge of the Eternal Triumph, something bad happened. An alarm started blaring. Then someone shouted out to the commander, "Commander, the Eternal Triumph has a hole in its side. It is in Section 7 of the Eternal Triumph." "Seal it now," Draxon said. He wanted them to seal the door. Draxon was very serious about this. He told them to seal it. "Sir, I do not think there is a breach. The section is just not there anymore. 20 meters of the hull and everything that was inside it are completely gone. The structure around it has closed up. It looks like the missing section never existed in the first place. The hull and everything around it seem to have sealed themselves off, like the part was never even there to begin with. 20 meters of the ship's hull, all the equipment and rooms inside it have just vanished." Draxon looked at his crew. He saw that they were scared just like he was. The space around them was like something was eating at their fleet one piece at a time. Draxon and his crew had seen some things on their sensors before, but this was different. The energy readings were really strong now. They were making weird patterns on the screens. These patterns were hard to look at because they were so bright and weird. Draxon did not like what he was seeing. He knew his crew felt the same way about the energy readings and the fleet. Draxon said, "We need to figure out what this thing is." He tried to keep his voice from shaking. "Get every scientist on our fleet to talk to me now. I want them to tell me what is going on with this thing. I need some answers about this thing." The channel. Draxon was connected to lots of Crithian scientists on different ships. The Crithian scientists shared information fast. They looked at their notes and they ran tests on computers. The Crithian scientists did this for 20 minutes. Then the main physicist from the research ship Endless Inquiry told everyone what she found out. What the lead physicist from the research vessel Endless Inquiry said was more scary than any Crithian weapon Draxon had ever seen. The findings from the Crithian scientists were bad news for Draxon. "Commander," she said, her voice was shaking, "we think the humans are not really attacking us in the way. The humans have done something to the spacetime in their protected zone. The spacetime here is really messed up at a small scale. The protected zone is falling apart. Things are getting pulled into other dimensions that should not be there. The humans have messed up the protected zone much that reality is basically collapsing in on itself. This is happening to everything. In the protected zone, it is all getting pulled into these dimensional folds. The protected zone is a problem because space is not working right in the protected zone. Can we get away from it?" Draxon asked loudly. He really wanted to know if they could escape it. Draxon was talking about it. He wanted an answer. Can they escape it? We are trying to figure out vectors, but Commander, the area that is affected is really big. It would take a lot of energy to make something like this happen, more than we ever thought was possible. The humans would have had to give up something to make this thing work. This is not something you use as a weapon. This is a device that can destroy everything. I mean everything, including the people who made it. The words really hit Draxon hard. He remembered what Richardson told him before. Richardson said, "If we die, we are not alone." These words were still in Draxon's mind. Draxon said, "Do they really want to give up their space just to stop us?" "Commander, I believe they have given up a lot more than we thought. The energy signs show that this problem is over their whole protected zone. They have made an area of space hundreds of light years totally unsafe. If any ship, their own, goes into this area, it will be destroyed. They have made a wall that they cannot even get past themselves. The protected zone is no longer safe for them. It is like a trap. They cannot go in. They cannot come out. This is a big deal, Commander. The energy signs are very clear. The protected zone is a danger zone now." Draxon finally got it. Humanity was not kidding around. They really meant what they said. They drew a line. They were not going to let anyone cross it without paying the price. So they made the whole area completely deadly to everything living. This meant they could not move out into the galaxy like they wanted to. They were stuck by themselves. They would not be as advanced as other places. They did not care because they did not want anyone to mess with their boundaries. It was insane. It was terrifying. And it was absolutely horrifyingly effective. "Broadcast this message on all the frequencies that humans use," Draxon said. "Let them know that we know we made a mistake. We are going to retreat. We want to leave the zone, so tell them we are asking for their permission to pass through without being harmed. Tell the humans that we are retreating and that we need passage out of the zone." The communications officer was really busy. "I sent the message, Commander. Now we are getting a response from the people. The Commander should know that we are getting a response." A message showed up on the screen that said, "You were warned. There is no way to get out of this. What the person did is, it cannot be changed. You should not have come to this place." The message said you were warned. The thing that is done to you is done. It cannot be undone. You should not have come here. The message said again, there is no passage for you. Draxon read the message 3 times, trying to find something that was not there. He wanted to think that the humans would show some kindness. It did not say that. The humans told them to stop. The humans asked them to please not do it. The humans were ignored. So the humans did what they said they would do. They made sure that if the boundary was crossed, everyone would die. This included the humans themselves and their chance to explore the stars in the future. Draxon thought about the humans. What they had done. The humans had made it clear that crossing the boundary meant death for everyone, including the humans and their future in the stars. Over the few hours, Draxon saw his fleet get smaller and smaller. Draxon's ships were disappearing in groups. Now it was like the whole universe wanted to get rid of Draxon's ships. People who worked on Draxon's ships were gone from rooms that were locked tight. Big parts of Draxon's ships just vanished into air. The screen that showed Draxon where all his warships were, it used to show 400 Draxon's warships. Now it showed then 100 Draxon's warships, and that number was getting smaller every minute. Draxon himself felt it when his turn came. It was a weird feeling, like he was being pulled apart in ways that his mind just could not understand. Draxon looked at Vreen one time. He saw Vreen reaching out to him. He saw Vreen saying something to him, but Draxon could not hear what Vreen was saying. The Eternal Triumph, which was the ship of the Crithian Dominion, was gone. In the assembly hall of the Galactic Coalition 3 weeks had. Ambassador Richardson was standing in front of the gathered delegates. The room was really quiet. There was no laughing. No one was making fun of anything. The Galactic Coalition had a problem now. 400 warships from the Crithian people had gone into the area that is supposed to be safe for humans, which is called the Protected Zone. None of the warships had come back. No messages had been sent out from them. The Galactic Coalition had not found any people who survived from these warships. On behalf of Earth, Richardson said in a voice, "I want to say how sad we are about the people of Crithian who died. We told them to be careful. We asked them times not to go near the boundary. They did not listen to us. Now a lot of Crithian lives are lost because we were serious about what we said about the boundary. We really meant it when we warned the people of Crithian. The people of Crithian are dead. It is very sad for Earth." He stopped talking for a moment. When he spoke again, his voice was really serious. The species had given up its future just to make a point, and you could hear that in his voice. Let this be the warning to all civilizations. The Earth's protected zone is really what we said it is. A protected place. We do not protect it with guns that you can fight against or with shields that you can break through. We protect it because we are ready to make the whole area impossible for anyone to live in so that we can be safe. We did not want things to be this way. We will not say sorry for doing what we must do to survive. The Earth's protected zone is our home. We will do what it takes to keep it safe. He looked at all the people who were gathered there and he saw that they were scared, they were horrified, and they really got what was going on. The delegates were finally understanding. He told them to leave us alone. We just want to be left in peace. That is what we have always wanted. We are still asking for the thing, which is for them to leave us alone. The assembly did not vote on the matter of Earth's boundary. They just did not need to vote on the matter of Earth's boundary. From that day no ship crossed Earth's boundary. Humanity remained isolated in their self-made prison, cut off from the rest of the galaxy, but humanity was finally safe from the galaxy, and that is all that mattered. Humanity was safe. And the galaxy learned that when humans draw a line, they mean it absolutely, even if honoring that line costs them everything.